first session of the evening, which is leveraging social media for design professionals. Well, this topic is not just crucial in today's time, but almost unavoidable. They say love it or hate it. You can't avoid it. That's what social media is. However, doing it right, what's in it for the design professional and how one can leverage it while focusing on one's core work. Our next panel will discuss this and more. Ayushi Agarwal, Marketing Head, Engineer Ply, to come on the stage and join us, please.
Warm welcome, everyone. I'm Ayushi Agarwal. I'm glad to be introducing this exceptional panel today. First panelist is architect Utsav Kamboj, the co-founder of Upscale Architects that focuses on residential and retail projects, and the founder of Archaea, which is India's first community-driven online platform that offers online architecture and design courses and workshops. She's also a social media influencer with an Instagram following of over 60,000. Up next, we have architect Simran Boparai. Simran is a young designer who is the co-founder of Space 5. She's highly skilled in luxury retail design. She has an astute command over classical design aesthetic. She's very active on social media with a strong following of 117,000. Also, we want to welcome architect Apoorva Shroff. Apoorva is the founder and principal designer for the boutique architecture, interior design and product design firm Lith Architecture. With over 20 years of work and project experience across US and Asia, Apoorva is one of India's most promising architects. She also has close to 109K Instagram followers. Up next, we have architect Hiren Patel. Based in Ahmedabad, Hiren Patel started his architectural practices in 1989. His aesthetics reflect minimalism, exclusivity, and sustainability. Along with creating marvelous designs, he's also very active on social media with over 98,000 followers. The moderator of the session is Tanya Khanna. Indian architect and curator Tanya Khanna is the founder of Epistle, the first and largest communication consultancy for architects and designers in South Asia. Over to you, Tanya.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us to engage in this very crazy conversation about the craze of social media today. I think before I start, I'd just like to maybe just mention that let's try and not talk about social media equal to Instagram. Let's really sort of include the other platforms of social media as well, because everything about social media is about Instagram today. So I think my initial thoughts were that, today's social media, as professionals, of course, we all have various goals when we look at social media, right? There is obviously the end goal of business. There is positioning, building a brand, sharing knowledge, reaching out to a larger audience. So I think my first few questions will be around your individual approaches to your social media platforms. If you could also mention what platforms you focused on in your journey, that would really help. So I'll start with you, Apoorva. Apoorva, you literally created a brand earlier this year, and you've taken the design sort of, world by storm. Your Instagram numbers have been mentioned. So tell us, what was your approach when you took on social media?
Yeah, hi, I'm Apoorva from Lith Design, and thank you, Tanya and Wade Asia for having me on this panel. So let me start by saying, first of all, I couldn't have done it on my own. I do get help, and there's no shame in admitting that you can't do everything by yourself. So thanks to also my family and friends who are now tortured by holding that camera out every time we walk into a store. So coming back to your question, I have to admit, as young as I look, I belong to the generation of architects that have a significant amount of their portfolio finished before the gram got so popular, right? And for us, literally, it was all about magazines. So you would finish 10 projects, wait for a magazine to show interest, and when they actually did, and printed one out of those 10 projects, the most you did with it was print it out, frame it up, and put it up on your own office walls. So today, Instagram has given you this platform where you can literally start marketing from, oh, I got a client, then this is my site, this is my vision, this is the start point. Today I'm having a bad day, today I'm having a good day, and that goes on for 6 months, and then you finally have a project. So yeah, we did the same for Lith. I think it's really important to have a story, and we capitalized on that.
Okay, so Utsav, you have a very different Instagram channel, right? Firstly, is Instagram the only channel that you're active on? No. What are the other platforms that you use?
Instagram is basically, it came very natural to me. I'll be very honest about it. I have been trying my hands on YouTube, failing miserably. I have tried my hands on Facebook, didn't work out. I am trying my hands on LinkedIn right now and I'm failing miserably.
Oh, really?
Yes, because I am used to the Instagram approach for the past few years, and LinkedIn has a completely different approach, right? But the good thing is that I don't have to make videos for LinkedIn, which is a really good thing for me because I can just sit in my pajamas and just do the work, right? But apart from Instagram, I am now focusing on growing on LinkedIn and creating a community using that platform.
So your Instagram channel particularly focuses on a lot of things. There is your personal life, there is your actual practice work, there is the knowledge that you share with everybody, there is information for young startups, students of architecture, there are courses that you're running. So how do you decide that balance, and was there an initial plan or was it very, very organic?
So when I started, the vision was and still is to create, when I'm posting something or when I'm putting something across, I'm just thinking this has to be for the 22-year-old me. The 22-year-old me had no idea. The 22-year-old me was confused. The 22-year-old me was like, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I should change my field. Or maybe I made a huge mistake becoming an architect, and this is a whole new world that I did not know about, right? So that was the idea that I started with. I was practicing since then. I started putting up my mistakes very openly. I was okay with it. No judgments, whatever. I started putting up my mistakes. And the idea of the platform was only to help those people. So basically, when we say now that, okay, I have 60,000 followers, they are 60,000 22-year-olds me, basically, who are struggling. And we have taken this job really seriously. With the increasing numbers, I'm getting even more stressful. The things that I used to double check on, I'm triple checking on. We have Wednesdays and Saturdays dedicated only for DMs and answering emails because we get hundreds of them. Yeah. So apart from that, because of what I'm doing is very different. The things that I was putting up, the things that I was talking about, people were not talking about that in general. So it was obvious that it created a very authentic connection and relationship with the audience. So they wanted to see the personal side of Utsav. What is she like? What does she do? And initially, I was very hesitant to put it. I would like people would judge me.
Most of us are.
But when I put it once, it was the response I got and the way people got connected to me even more. That was very, very different. And I think that everyone should do it. Maybe a little bit. That really depends on what kind of a person you are. But if you can, maybe just let them, sneak into your life just a little bit. And apart from that, now I have diversified everything, right? So now my practice is on a different page. I have diversified that now. The courses, the educational content is diversified on the Arkia page. And I am mostly talking about stuff that a newbie would need immediately.
So over a period of time, you have made that distinction
Yes.
for the brands.
I have made mistakes, I've realized this is not working, and then I have corrected them.
Is that a recommendation that you would make? Because a lot of people ask this question.
No.
Should I have my handle versus my studio's handle, right? What would your experience say?
See, I would say that if you are a solopreneur, then there is no problem with having your own handle. If you are a studio, you have partners, then maybe it's better that you make some differentiation. That also depends on what kind of approach you are taking for social media, right? If, for example, I have 3 partners in the practice, right? They are complete introverts. They don't like to come on video. They don't like to make reels. So I have kept that approach there, that it's just for portfolio. It's just for communications. It's just to leverage the platform to grow the business, right? Arkia is a different thing now. That is an online education platform. So there I am coming up a bit, but then that also we have sort of the approaches for students. The approaches for people who are just getting out or in college, right? Here, the approach is completely different. It's very personalized. Again, it's for a 22-year-old me. And it's like whatever practical aspects that you are looking for, this page gives you all of that.
Thank you. Thanks. Simran,
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows your work and the numbers obviously show for it. Would you like to share some insight into how you developed your handle and what was your approach?
Yeah.
And can you talk a little bit about how you used it to grow your practice, grow the business really?
Yeah. So first of all, good evening, everyone. I hope you all are not getting bored and are here with attentive ears. So I am the co-founder of Space 5.
Yeah.
So it's me and my brother, architect Hiren Boparai. So basically we have 2 channels. I have my own page by Simran Boparai and my studio page by the name of Space 5. When I started my own page, the intent was not largely to get more clients. The intent was to educate more and more number of people. There are a lot of people, a lot of masses who want their villas to be designed by the architects who are sitting here, but they can't have an access to us. So for me, the core reason for having my own page was that I could reach to more number of people. They can get inspired. So if you look at my Instagram handle, what is it about? It is about more like a dialogue. It's a design narrative, a story of a project from a conceptualization to its entire journey. So that's what I try to put in my page. So I want that everyone should have an access to that. So that was my core motive of starting my own page. Apart from that, I am very active on YouTube. So when you talk about other platforms, I mean, it's not just Instagram. I have been an advocate of women empowerment, and I ended up making my own YouTube channel wherein we showcase that how women in design are revolutionizing and completely changing how people look at the design industry. So there are a lot of videos on YouTube which have trended under my channel, under the name Women in Design, and how we are changing the complete perception about women designers. So that's another platform, and third would be LinkedIn. I think that is something which we all need to explore now. So that is the core which we need to look at. That is something which can't be missed. Especially if we talk about firms like bigger firms or to reach
knowledge sharing.
Yeah, also
I
knowledge
think
sharing. I think that's very important. So we can't miss on any of the platforms.
Interestingly,
That's what I would say.
started with LinkedIn.
You started with.
I actually started
Yeah.
with LinkedIn because I found it easier to write, and LinkedIn encourages that.
Encourages that.
And while LinkedIn has become more popular only in the last 2 years,
2 years,
it's
yeah.
been around forever. And
Forever.
it's a great tool for somebody who wants to genuinely build a professional business network.
Yes. Like a community. If you want to have your own community for that, it's very important.
So my next question to you is, there is so much talk about numbers, right? Numbers, algorithms, consistency, right?
Yeah.
These are challenges that anybody who's on any social media handle is struggling with today. How to beat the algorithm? How can you put up a reel every week? How can you get your consistency to do something every day? If you had to give 3 tips to our audience, what would you share?
See, to be very honest with you, for me, Instagram posting reels or anything never has been a challenge, you know. It has always come out of my heart. I'm being very natural, you know, what we do every day, what I'm designing. You see my channel and you will see that from the start of the day, whatever I do, what projects I'm doing, there are few of my passion projects, I would say, which I highlight very often. So posting reels, post has never been a very big challenge for me. And a lot of people ask me that, do you have a social media team who is handling your platform? I feel that a platform is only worth if you're doing it yourself. People will connect with you if it's your raw version. You put others to handle that, they can't understand your design ideology. They can't connect with you at that level. I connect with my audience. I get so many messages from a lot of budding designers, a lot of people getting inspired from that. And I feel that if I'm able to inspire people, young women out there, I mean, you don't have to seek permission to run after your dreams. You got to be there and you got to nail it. That's what my motto is.
Awesome, very good. Utsav? Yeah. So, could you share, like if you had to share 2 tips, not just for the 22-year-old you, but for everybody else, somebody who's looking to genuinely leverage social media to their advantage, what would you say? Thank you, Hiren. Please do join us. No problem. Please join us. I'm going to come to you next. Yeah, so Utsav, you finish, please.
Good evening. Sorry, I was in jury and so I had to, it happened somehow, same
No
for the
problem.
both.
No
Yeah.
problem. You finish your answer, then I'll ask next. Yes.
So the first thing is that I agree with Simran on this, that yes, a social media team cannot understand your approach, but there are ways to divide the work and automate it so that your creativity is not affected. I mean, you can still post creatively on the social media platforms, but how to post, when to post, how to take care of algorithms, let the professionals handle it, right? That's what I'm doing for Arkia and my practice.
I thought what you mentioned earlier about Wednesdays and Saturdays, for example, picking 2 days is a great idea.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm going to take that out.
So we get DMs every day. We have to
Yeah.
do it. We can't answer every day. The second thing would be what I suggest is, first of all, you need to have a strategy in place. For example, if you're just getting started, if you're just putting your work out there, what is your end goal? Is it brand visibility? Are you trying to get traffic? Are you trying to get leads? First decide on that, how you're going to approach the social media platform, and then take it ahead. And third, batch produce it. Put your work together, decide according to that strategy, create a content strategy, and then batch produce it. That's what I have been teaching to so many, young designers who are just in contact with me. I just suggest them as a consultant that this is how you need to go ahead. And the last one is you can just take my course.
So anybody who wants to know how to run social media, please sign up for Utsav's course. It's on arkia.in, right? Yes. Okay, great. Hiren, welcome to the panel. We were wondering where you were. So just ask, your Instagram handle is a very individual-driven, very poetic, very design-focused, and very, very instant, if I may say. So how did you grow the platform? Was it planned? Was it organic? Could you talk a little bit about your approach?
Yeah, I think I'm not the man of social media understanding first. It just happened. And for me, it's like I really have never gone in terms of strategy or talking about. it was something, you must have seen that there are so much of spelling mistake in all my write-up, or there are grammatical errors are there, because it just happens and I just pause them. And I would say that Instagram, Facebook is a Maya. And I always remove 3 digits out of that. If 1,000 people are, let's say, following, only 10 people are your guys. So that's how it is. So just take it easy. I mean, it's a lovely platform because you see to each other's work, and it's a way to connect. It's a new things. And जब कुछ नया cycle सीखते हैं no, so you keep on cycling every day. But slowly then you get mature about. So that's how the social media, it attracts you a lot. To me, that social media, I am very conscious not to bluff, because it's become a document. It is actually becoming an archive. So if you see my posts, I hardly put any 3Ds. Yeah. I put actual pictures because I don't want to overpromise to somebody that I have a beautiful render, I talk about something, and at the end, when the building is done, I say, oh my God. Or somebody will say, oh my God, this guy saw something beautiful, and what a crap he has done. So I'm very clear of that. So whenever I post, I actually genuinely put something which is already done, taken picture. If I connect the dots, I used to do a lot of lovely photography. I mean, I learned photography right from my school time. So I'm keen in terms of learning photography, angle. We used to do with the black and white. We used to develop our own chemical way to print out. So we have actually gone where the digital cameras were not there. So I found Instagram posting is more my refining techniques in terms of photography. So Instagram, let's say, follow or people love the work is become like a bonus. For I wouldn't say that I was really meant for that. So that's the thing. So that's why I'm really less bothered about write-up, less bothered about the spelling mistakes. You can see कि आज उन्होंने बिना चश्मा लगाए हुए लिखा है तो it's going to be an error and auto type it gets changed. So, but it's lovely. In fact, I was very keen. Unfortunately, I was in jury because I wanted to learn with these 3 rock stars that how the media works, frankly speaking. So, yeah.
No, but your handle itself, I mean, if I may say so, you know, like I said, it's a very poetic approach, and it actually is instant. It truly is Instagram, you know, because it is supposed to be instant. I mean, we all also recognize the fact that the very, very curated feed does not mean that it will always be very successful. My next question is actually just, you know, based on what you just said. You focus on the photography, the visual. Do you think occasionally Instagram as a platform also ends up defining trends, right? Especially design trends. You know, just like fashion as an industry, everybody starts posting about arches. Suddenly arches are very popular. To the point that somebody will go ahead and make a DIY reel on how to make your own arch. Do you think there is a sense of reduction in design as a result of social media?
No, not really. In fact, it helps you so much because you get so much of information. And no, how would I know her beautiful work? And I don't have rights to have bright ideas, or I don't have rights to make a beautiful feeling. Everybody has a rights. Come on. I mean, and we Indian have to really gear up. I mean, we have to really go out of the third world mentality and create something beautiful. So rather than going off track of your question, I would really love to share because people are interested here. I remember that we did one house called Courtyard House, which has become very popular over the internet. And the Sebastian is a talented photographer, and he came and he photographed. जब वो photography करने आया था तो मैं भी ऐसे flower pots रखता था because I was not aware. I knew only Inside Outside magazine, nothing, no digital platform and things like that. And I say, यार वो राजीव सैनी जैसा जरा photograph ले लेना, Sebastian, because you do lots of beautiful photography of Rajiv Saini. So same thing, same story. I mean, somebody today might say, Hiren Patel's work I admire and I would like to do, but we are on the same boat. I mean, मैं दो step आगे आप 2 step पीछे, but we are all in the railway platform, so not to really worry. We are always moving. So Sebastian did that lovely photography of that project, and he said, Hiren, I feel this house has some magic. I said, what do you mean? He said, I don't have to really compose anything and pictures comes perfect. So he took beautiful pictures and then he said, why don't you try something like Arch Daily, Contemporaries? I mean, Contemporaries was a powerful platform even then the Arch Daily on those days. I had no idea about that. And I said, यार foreign वाला बंदा हाँ यार हमारा काम कहाँ मैं तो happy हूँ with our inside outside magazine so that's it. He said no this project seems to be very good. And I said अच्छा राजू सैनी ने भी किया है उसका भी है चलो try करते हैं. So there was one talented guy in the office, techno savvy guy. वो उसका कंप्यूटर वो पूरी रात U-torrent में से डाउनलोड करता रहता था एंड वी यूज्ड टू वरी कि हमारा कंप्यूटर कोई चल नहीं रहा और इतना जीबी डाउनलोड हो रहा है तो दैट वाज अ ब्रिलियंट गाय वी से उसका यूज़ करना पड़ेगा बिकॉज ही इज़ अ मैन ऑफ कंप्यूटर एंड आई से why don't you try to apply to this and contemporaries Arch really didn't answer us so we were really down कि हमारा काम ठीक नहीं है but contemporaries they wrote us back and they said this is fantastic and we would love to publish your work. So that was something. So I told that gentleman, I say यार iPhone जैसा करना अच्छे वाली इमेज भेजना 10 बहुत हो गई हमारे पास बहुत सारे फोटोग्राफ है 10 images बहुत हो गई but make sure it is as beautiful like iPhone. अगर फोटोग्राफ में अगर वो फ्लोर मेट आ गई है तो फोटोग्राफ मत करना पहले फोटोशॉप कर लेना नहीं तो नहीं भेजना no that kind of thing. So we were very conscious about because it was a bit pressure of an Indian architect representing internationally. So it's not just me. We all were there. I really wanted to prove that we are also good, no? So this guy, रात को upload करना तब तो I mean connectivity was lower. I'm talking long years ago, almost 15 years before. So so we had two folder, one selected one, and one was our 25, which is best shot by Sebastian. I say वो 10 वाला भेज देना, no, like because it's very important. Next morning, when I was in office. इससे सर एक गलती हो गई आई से क्या गलती हो गई उसने बोला कि वो दूसरा वाला फोल्डर अपलोड हो गया आई से दूसरा वाला यानी इसे वो 27 और 28 फोटो का वो सब अपलोड मैंने कर दिया कंटेम्प्रेरी सो आई से यार दिस इज टू आई मीन नो बिकॉज वी आर नॉट कॉन्फिडेंट अबाउट अस व्हाट हैपेंड द ग्राफिक डिजाइनर ऑफ कंटेम्प्रेरी फेल इन लव एंड आउट ऑफ 28 पिक्चर ही पब्लिश्ड 26 पिक्चर्स इन द आर्टिकल एंड इट वाज आई टेल यू टू वाइल्ड फायर बिकॉज एवरीबडी स्टार्ट पिकिंग जो बाथरूम बना रहे उसको भी एक इमेज मिल गई जो वुडन डोर्स बना रहे उसको भी तो ऑल ब्लॉगर्स स्टार्टेड फॉलोइंग देम एंड पिकिंग अप दैट थिंग एंड विद इन 1 month दिस courtyard house was everywhere. I got phone call from Mexico, I got phone call from Singapore, Malaysia, Pakistan, Italy. Everybody wanted to publish that thing. So that's the beauty of so that time it was maybe a web blogs, today is Instagram. So it's a very powerful tool. I can tell you.
Thank you for sharing that story because I think it will genuinely encourage everybody that social media does allow us the opportunity to put Indian design on a global map. So thank you for sharing that.
And if Indian, see again I quickly go through. I'm doing one project in France and we did project and I always say that I was always conscious. And we Indian, why we have fear? Why we think we can't design Tokyo? Some Japanese will come and he will do in Mumbai or Delhi. But when it comes to Tokyo, we become very conscious. So we absolutely have to come out from third world mentality. I'm telling you, the people sitting there have somebody waiting for in Mexico or somewhere in Brazil. Come on, guys. So I remember, I asked my client, Catherine, she was in the TV media in France. I said, Catherine, how come you find somebody, a poor guy from Ahmedabad, and not even Delhi, Bombay? I say, I admire the work of Jean Nouvel. I mean, he's my mera dost hai. I said, come on, mero ko next time mila dena, no? So I say, how come you find me what is? So I still remember the one lovely word from her. She said, Hiren, my French architect friends, create boxes. I wanted courtyard. That's why I brought you. I said, come on, so we all can do the courtyard. So see, we have to really find USP of us and we have to rock entire world. Come on, guys, just come out from all these things and do the best of best your thing. You cannot make anybody fool, but just come out from that. I really want somebody sitting here doing project in Brazil, doing USA तो हमारे आधे लोग तो अपने रहते हैं. Start with USA and I'm sure you will spread over across a global level. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was very, very inspiring, I think, for everybody here, including me. So, because we all end up going through that feeling occasionally, should I put this up? Is it perfect? Is it not? Why am I doing this? What am I doing it for? So thank you. Apoorva, one last question. When you link it back, when you link social media back to business, is there something that you would want to share with the audience? Just two things that one should be more mindful of.
First of all, I want to say I'm a huge fan of the work and the sketches.
We all are. We all are.
Yes, so it's an honor sitting here and sharing this platform with you. So if you ask me what I am mindful of, I feel, it's important to put content that, the person who is receiving it or absorbing your content should add some value to their time as well. It's just being mindful of the respect that they're giving you, and I think that's really important, and that has worked for me, right? Secondly, I do feel you have asked about alternates to Instagram, and I still have memories of walking into those college libraries, picking out books and feeling inspired by the projects that were published in those lovely thick pages of the masters out there. So someday I hope that besides Instagram, I would like to influence a young mind in the same way, where they walk up and pick up a book and maybe see my work in there. So that is definitely something I would aspire for.
Yeah, touche to that. I'm sure that will happen very soon. Utsav, Simran, would you like to leave everybody with one last thing that they should be mindful of?
I think for service-based businesses, any service-based business, relationship is a very important thing, right? When you're working with a client, relationship is an important aspect of working with the client. So social media platforms sort of help you building that. You don't have to do it one-on-one. You are the one, and there are a lot of people. But when somebody's coming to you to get their space done, they are 30% already convinced, because they like you as a person, they like your work, they have seen the behind-the-scene approaches, they see how you approach a project, they see how you work on sites. So somehow that trust is developed. So I think any practice, if you're just getting started, should focus on that. Because if somebody's coming, converting them would be slightly easier than converting a person who doesn't know anything about you. And the second thing is, I agree with Apoorva on this, that be a little mindful of what you're putting out there. I mean, you just necessarily don't have to post anything just for the sake of it. I mean, take it slowly, take it at your own pace in the beginning, and just, make it sort of a self-expression of yourself or of the studio that you have.
Thank you. Simran?
So I feel that whatever we post on social media, it's at the end of the day, it should reflect your personality, your brand. So looking at my posts, if someone is able to connect to it, that yes, this is Simran Boparai Space 5 work, that's what I would say. So to retain that identity on social media is very important. Of course, you need to be mindful of whatever you are posting. But then again, the entire challenge is that you are recognized with your work. Instantly, I look at something, and when I know, yes, this is this architect, I think that's what makes a difference.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Are there any questions from the audience?
Thank you so much for such an insightful panel and such information. Thank you. My question is, we belongs to the young generation, like we are people, we are youngsters. So in this world of social media, like it is very easy for us to scroll down Facebook, Instagram and everything. But what I feel is, in this world, we are somewhere lost the beauty of books that we learn. Like in our previous worlds, we used to roll down the pages and we learn from the books. So these two worlds are very different, and I just think that somewhere that thing is decreasing in terms of use, because using social media is very easy for us.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Good to see you. She was intern in office also. I think we have to learn an art of unfollowing. That's very important. See, when you are browsing and something which does not give you happiness, maybe because that person is your competitor. So आप क्यूरियस है कि उसने मेरे से अच्छा किया है सोशल नेटवर्क में, अरे मेरे तो इतने फॉलोअर्स है, उसने तो ज़्यादा होगा, राइट? सो व्हाट हैपन, यू लुक दैट वर्क एंड यू आर फीलिंग अनहैप्पी, अनफॉलो कर दो उनको, मत देखो। 15 दिन के बाद एक साथ हिम्मत करके देख लेना का मेरे से कितना ज़्यादा किया है, बट योर लाइफ बिकम वंडरफुल। सो इट्स एन आर्ट ऑफ अनफॉलो इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Then you will switch over to the reading. Reading or browsing books is the next level because your mind gets slow down. This is like tuck, 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 tuck. So I'm sure we people are little less acquainted versus youngsters are unbelievable. I mean, I can imagine this out of these three ladies might have put one Instagram post beautifully. So they are sharp on that. They are that good because you have learned with that technique. But it's importance to unfollow people. That's also very important.
It's a good tip. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Yeah, sure.
Hi. I have a two-part question. One, do you all ever feel the fear that everything you all put out is essentially your USP, your style, your design? Will that ever be replicated or duplicated? Part two being, a lot of people today look at Pinterest boards and that becomes their source of inspiration. Do you think your Instagram handles could be that in the future or even now for that matter?
Part one. Who wants to answer part one?
I'll answer part one. Yeah, I'm very superstitious. So while I say the advertisement starts from I got a client, I also try to be very careful about what I put out there, just because you don't want to get that buri nazar before you actually get that job, right? So, yeah.
Part two, who wants to answer?
Part two, I think I agree with you on this, that yes, like Simran here, she has a certain defined design style. And the firm is now well established for their design style. So when somebody has to look for inspiration, they will go to her page. It will become the second, we sort of like Pinterest. So that is definitely going to happen. Yeah.
But imitation is a form of flattery, so, that's, I think, should be acceptable.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you. I think this was very insightful even for me. Thank you very much. It was very, very useful. I hope that everybody got some tips to take back. I hope your social media channels bloom and blossom. And I hope they move beyond Instagram to others. I hope LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever you pick your platform wisely and have fun. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you, Wade, for having all of us here.
Well, thank you very much for such a wonderful and productive session on social media.